another edition of Senior Citizens Forum on Ojalin Station. Senior Citizens Forum, as you know, is a program designed for the elderly where we showcase our plight and everything the elderly and the aged, are going through. So on this program today, I have a wonderful personality. He's a medical doctor, and some of you must have been seeing him on this program if you're an ardent, viewer of Senior Citizens Forum. I'm talking about Dr. Akinshola Akinde. He's here with us in the studio. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Hey, it's quite a long time. Daddy, you are just looking great. Tell us, tell us the secret, sir.
It's the grace of God.
The grace of God.
Take life easy.
We should take life easy.
Yes, irrespective of whatever is happening. Like you said, give thanks to God.
All the time.
All the time.
Hey, and we look good.
Have a heart of appreciation.
Heart of appreciation.
No matter your situation.
No matter your situation, have a heart of appreciation. I love that. You're welcome to Senior Citizens Forum, sir. Now today, we want to talk about the challenges faced, particularly health challenges, faced by senior citizens. And that is why we have invited you, because it's only you that can, tell us what to do at any given point of time. Now we're talking about diabetes and hypertension, which are the most common ailments in the elderly are facing. How can they tackle this diabetes and hypertension? I think we should start with diabetes.
Well, it's a very common problem. Diabetes is a very common problem. And what happens in diabetes is that the human body cannot make use of sugar. You see, all the forms of food that we eat,
yes, sir.
The currency the body uses is what we call glucose.
Currency?
Yes.
We use currency?
Yes, if I may put it that way.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
When it boils down to whatever the form of carbohydrate you take, let's say you eat pounded yam, fufu, amala, rice, amala, eba. And in the body,
yes, sir,
the basic unit of these different types of food that is useful to the body is glucose, is sugar.
Yes, sir.
Now, your body should be able to handle the sugar, no problem. When your body is not able to handle that sugar, yes, convert it into a form it will produce energy for you, yes, sir, then you are said to have diabetes. So, we normally measure the blood sugar level, okay, and it should fall within a certain range. But when you are unable to handle that sugar, your blood sugar level rises very high. Usually there are two types of diabetes. One comes on before the age of, we call one juvenile onset. That one is seen in very young people. And then we also have the adult onset, which comes on usually above the age of 40. But these days, we are beginning to even see the adult onset in people less than 40. So it's a very common problem. And a lot of the time, the problem is that it affects all the organs of the body. It affects the brain, the heart, the eyes, the kidneys. So, except it is, except you're able to detect it on time, yes, sir, and you're able to nip it in the bud, yes, by taking adequate treatment, it does a lot of damage. It can damage the brain, may lead to stroke. It can damage the eyes, leading to blindness.
Yeah.
It may damage your kidneys, leading to kidney failure. So it is a multi-systemic disease. It affects virtually all the organs of the body. It damages the nerve, resulting in such that when you now enjoy yourself, yeah, you may not know. And you see some of them come down with wounds, their wounds do not heal.
Yeah.
And not, so it's a very serious problem.
Very serious. Diabetes is very serious. Yeah.
We should not take lightly. So, inability of the body to make use of sugar as you normally do is what results in diabetes.
In diabetes.
In simple language.
How can we tackle it, sir? How? Because there's no way, we cannot run away from all these carbohydrates.
The truth of the matter is that now I read a book.
Yes, sir.
And it says if we all grow old, let's say if it's possible for all human beings to live to 100 to 120 years, virtually everybody will become diabetic.
Huh? Why?
By 100 and 120. The reason is that the ability of the body to make use of sugar declines or decreases with age.
With age.
As you are getting older, you are more prone. For example, a 90-year-old man is at a greater risk of developing diabetes than when he was 40.
Okay.
So your ability, there's an organ in your body that secretes a chemical. We call the organ pancreas. It's in the stomach. The secretes a chemical called insulin. Insulin is what helps you to make use of sugar.
Okay.
The ability of that organ to secrete insulin declines with age. Then the usefulness of insulin, we call it sensitivity of insulin to be able to make use of that sugar effectively, also declines with age. So if we all live long enough, there's a tendency that majority of people will become diabetic. So the important thing, the way out then, is to make sure you go for regular medical checkups. So that if the disease is developing, it can be detected on time, you can nip it in the bud, you take appropriate actions, and then you'll be advised appropriately on what to do, what you need to eat, for example, in Nigeria,
yes, sir,
in the days of old, the common thing is you hear somebody say, "I wolf not the punch belly." They go to a party and they are drinking 7 bottles of Coke, 10 bottles of mineral. You know, it's excess of everything.
It's bad.
It's bad. You know, and each bottle of of Coke contains 7 cubes of sugar.
Wow.
So when you consume sugar in excessive amount, you are making yourself to be at risk of developing diabetes. Okay, so one, you need to live a life of discipline. You need to be able to go for regular medical checkup.
Yes, sir.
But then I must tell you that the good news is this: the fact that one has diabetes,
yes, sir,
the same thing with hypertension.
Yes, sir.
Provided you take good care of yourself, you do what you are supposed to do, you avoid what you are not supposed to. You are supposed to avoid, is almost compatible with normal lifespan. But the important thing is you need to live a life of discipline.
Live a life of discipline.
You must be able to know where to say stop.
Yes.
This is enough. I'm not taking.
I'm not taking this.
I'm not taking this. I'm not taking that. I will take my medications. I will go for regular checkup. But if you are not able to discipline yourself, then you are probably looking for trouble.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akinde. What are the symptoms of diabetes and hypertension?
Now, for diabetes,
let's know. So that at least we will know. Maybe we are,
One of the symptoms is that usually, in the early stages, we may not have symptoms.
Okay, sir.
In fact, 40 years ago, once I was in the medical school, we were told that when we have somebody complaining of excessive thirst, the person feels thirsty. In fact, the illustration our teacher taught us then was a classroom teacher in primary school.
Excessive thirst.
Teaching a class lasting for 35 minutes. And over that period of 35 minutes, he has had to stop to drink water like 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
So we call it excessive thirst. We call it excessive consumption of water. We call it polydipsia. You just have that hunger for water. You just want to keep on drinking and drinking.
Okay.
Polydipsia. So then the other thing is polyuria. Excessive passage of urine. You are passing urine every 1 hour or thereabout. Then the other person is also that in the local parlance, when they urinate, people urinate outside. Yes. When they urinate, some of them discover that when they go back after a few minutes, they see ants crowding around the spot
where
they are urinated.
Wow.
That's the pointer that the person may have diabetes. Then they may also be able to see some white crystals on the ground. All right? Then weight loss. They are eating normally, but they are losing weight.
Okay.
And then the other thing is that some of them, they may have a wound on their leg. and the wound does not heal.
There's no heal on time.
On time. So when you see any of these symptoms, the next thing is to go to a doctor. But in this day and age, quite a number of patients are being picked up. You detect diabetes before it gets to this critical stage of having to drink water every 30 minutes or having to pass urine every hour. Because a lot of people are aware, they go for regular checkup, and one of the things they do is they do a fasting blood sugar.
Okay.
And once it's above a certain value, they are put on medication. So going for regular medical checkup helps to pick it up on time. Now, in the case of hypertension, one is often said that hypertension is what we call the silent killer. What is hypertension? Hypertension is what we could call an abnormally elevated blood pressure.
Abnormally elevated blood pressure.
In our body system, we have what I could call the plumbing system. We have the heart,
yes,
which has to pump blood around the body.
Okay.
And the blood goes away from the heart in pipes that we call arteries.
Yes, sir.
And that blood is returned onto the heart through pipes that we call veins.
Veins.
Now, what happens is that the heart pushes the blood through the pipe with a certain force.
Okay.
It is that force that we are measuring when we say we are measuring blood pressure.
Okay, the force.
Yes.
Okay.
We create the heart pushes
the blood
the head
through the vessels.
That's what we measure. And normally, when you are less than the age of 40 years, your blood pressure should not be more than 140/90. So if your blood pressure is more than 140/90 on two different occasions, measured 4 hours apart, I measure your blood pressure now, it is 140/90. In another 4 hours, I measure it again, it's 140/90, and you are less than 40, then you are hypertensive. So you cannot look at somebody, me looking at him and say, you have hypertension.
No.
The blood pressure has to be measured. Has to be measured. Now, a lot of times,
but what about the symptoms? Because
does not give symptoms.
No symptoms at all.
Until the 11th hour.
That's why it's called silent killer.
Oh. It will have done a lot of damage. Just like diabetes, hypertension also affects all the organs of the body. It can damage the brain, in which case it gives the person stroke or paralysis or death. It can damage the eyes, leading to blindness. It can damage the kidneys, leading to kidney failure, renal failure. It can damage the heart, leading to heart failure.
Wow.
So just like diabetes, it's a multi-systemic disease. So quite a number of times, you pick up, it's only at the 11th hour. The person may have a severe headache, or you see somebody collapse in the bedroom. Or, okay, I'll give you an instance.
Yes, sir.
There was this rain that fell sometimes in August, about 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a junction in one of these suburbs of Lagos. Yeah. The traffic was so bad, and last man was controlling the traffic. This man had driven out of the house that morning. And when he got to that junction, last man stopped him. And lo and behold, they were controlling the traffic and everything.
Okay.
And when it was his turn, last man passed him.
To move.
He had already collapsed behind the steering.
Wow. Behind the steering, he had already collapsed.
Yes. And of course, by the time last man signaled him to go, he didn't. And by the time people got there, it was
a dead man.
Dead man.
Wow, a dead man.
Person.
We'll come back to that, sir. It was a dead man already. Just because he was hypertensive. Well, we come back after this time out. Don't go away.
A Senior Citizens Forum.
Senior Citizens Forum, a special weekly program on Lagos television that addresses the joy and the various challenges of the elderly.
The children that you call in the neighborhood, maybe when you want to do something on your phone, make sure that there are people that are trustworthy in character. Even if you have grandchildren or you have children, wait for the child that you can trust.
The only way you can know whether you have hypertension or not is to measure your blood pressure.
The health policies need to be reviewed to help the senior citizens.
For its sponsorship and advert placement, please contact the LTV Marketing Department or send SMS or call 0802 328 5359 or 0801 3888 1703. Senior Citizens Forum is shown on LTV. insurance companies, pension fund managers, healthcare providers, pharmaceutical companies, as well as telecommunications network providers are free to sponsor the program or advertise their products at moderate rates.
Yes, another edition of Senior Citizens Forum on your dialing station.
A Senior Citizens Forum.
Yes, you're welcome back to Senior Citizens Forum, and if you're just joining us, we are discussing ailments and challenges, faced by senior citizens. We've talked about diabetes and hypertension. Yeah, the doctor was talking about somebody who had already died, while in traffic. Yes, you will still have to tell us in the course of the program again. Thanks for joining us. Sir, you said the man was already a goner.
Passed out.
A goner.
So such a person, I'm sure, if a postmortem were to be done, you will find out that he's been nursing hypertension for a long period, undetected.
Undetected.
So
that he had to die in traffic.
A lot of people run into trouble.
Yeah.
From what I would call the complications of hypertension. Either they have become blind, or they has kidney failure, or he has what we call a heart failure, or he has a stroke. Okay, 2 days ago, a man was brought to me. He's a trader. He was well.
Okay.
He went to the bedroom and he slumped. And the next thing he discovered is that he couldn't move his right hand and left leg.
Left leg.
And
so he had a stroke straight.
He had a stroke. And we asked him, were you hypertensive? He said no. He didn't know. Obviously, you see, the only way you can know whether you're hypertensive or not is you measure your blood pressure.
Measure the blood pressure. Thank you so much.
One can overemphasize
Yeah.
the need for regular medical checkup.
Yes, sir.
By the time you are having symptoms of hypertension, headache, blindness, kidney failure, heart failure, it's already getting to a stage where the damage may not be reversed. But like I said, hypertension, diabetes, to a large extent, are compatible with near normal lifespan. But there's a proviso. You must do what you're supposed to do.
To do on time.
Take your medications as at when necessary. But when a lot of people are diagnosed with hypertensive, their reaction is, I don't have any worries. I don't have any.
I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah. I reject it in Jesus' name. The truth of the matter is this: hypertension, we call it essential hypertension. Once you are consuming salt, your blood pressure will rise with age. So once you're above the age of 35, 40, make it a habit to go for a regular checkup. And one of the things that they should check for you is your blood pressure.
Blood pressure straight.
Check your blood pressure. So that if you are developing hypertension, you can start taking the medications as at when necessary. And then the other thing is...
And you stop your consumption of salt
you are
and
advised
sugar.
to reduce your consumption of salt.
Reduce, or even, why not? Salt, you can do away with salt now. So many other things.
Because a lot of people, when they are served food, the next thing is the salt in this food is not enough.
And it's not enough. They add
raw salt. That's a very dangerous habit. It's a dangerous habit. So, as much as one of the things we advise people with hypertension is that they should reduce their salt intake. They should not consume raw salt.
Yes, sir. They should not consume raw salt. Hypertensive patients run away from raw salt. Please, yes, that's coming from Dr. Akinshola Akinde. Now, let's talk about another one, Alzheimer's disease known as dementia, sir.
Yes.
Because, this one is very common, amongst our elders. And even some of our elders, they have gone just because of that. Some of them got lost. They just leave their homes and they don't know, where how to find their way back again.
Alzheimer's disease is a degenerative disease.
Alzheimer's,
yes.
Called dementia now.
Yeah, it is a cause of dementia. It manifests as dementia.
Okay.
It is a degenerative disease of the brain.
Usually,
in the 6th or 7th decade, it sets in. And what that happens is that the person has what we call loss of memory. Like you rightly mentioned, somebody suffering from Alzheimer's disease may leave the home and may not
know his way back.
His way back.
Yes.
And then you may start wondering about. Then they don't pay attention to their dressing, and that kind of thing. And in our culture, very often, more often than not, such a person or such a woman, maybe it's a woman,
Maybe
is
it's a
labeled
woman,
as
they
a
say
witch.
it's a witch.
And the next thing is the children start running. Instead of seeking medical help, they start running away from her. She's stigmatized. Some people might even stone her to death.
They will stone now because they will say she's a
There was
witch.
one Baba that has this disease. The Baba, what will happen is that he has an account. He goes to the bank and he doesn't need money. We just withdraw 50,000 naira, come and put it under his what's it called? Pillow in the house.
Okay. Talking about that's another one again. We'll come back to that. Alzheimer's, you know, that now developed into dementia. We're right back.
Retirement good, retirement sweet, now the step to living a good old age.
The do's and don'ts of elders. Elders should take very good care of themselves, remembering that they are getting old and that all the parts of their bodies are aging. They should eat well. That is very important. They should eat foods that will be of advantage to their good health. Apart from that, they should socialize, mix with their peers, so that they will be happy. They will have that will to continue living. And another one is they should check their health. That is, go to the doctor and make sure that they do the necessary medical checkup. But elders shouldn't indulge in certain things that will impair their health, like drinking, like eating too much, like indulging in things that will make you fat, like being lazy. Yes, you should make some effort to see that you are able to carry yourself, because it's getting more and more difficult. But you shouldn't allow it to press you down, because you should remember that all these parts of the bodies are beginning to revolt against you. So you should soft pedal. Elders should soft pedal. When you hear people doing this, doing that, an elder shouldn't indulge in that, doing that thing. They should remember the type of body they now have. They should always remember their position. And elders should be pleasant. They should be accommodating. They should be able to get along well with other people. And elders shouldn't be peevish. You shouldn't say because you have like, for instance, you have this pains, this in the joints, arthritis, that you have arthritic pains, and then you begin to be peevish when children move around you, you snap at them, you shout at them. No, you shouldn't do that.
Retirement good, retirement sweet, now the step to living a good old age.
Yes, we were saying something on dementia, you know, that has to do with loss of memory, and whereby we just find that elders not knowing their way back home, not knowing their way again. Oh, most of the times they are stigmatized as witches and wizards, that people they would now start stoning them, you know, in marketplaces and all over the place, which is very bad. Because you are an old person doesn't make you a wizard or a witch. So that is what doctor is trying to tell us. Now, how can we get out of this, sir?
Well, public
if we see somebody like this, how can we help such a person?
Then such a person should be taken to a medical facility where appropriate tests and examinations will be carried out, and the relatives will be enlightened as to how to help such a person. Instead of stigmatizing them, instead of isolating them, instead of abandoning them, because it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not
their fault.
Well, thanks, Dr. Akishola Akinde. Thanks for being a guest on Senior Citizens Forum today. And all our aged viewers at home, yes, I really want you to keep watching Senior Citizens Forum to be able to know how to go, you know, about the stages you're passing through in your life. Until next week, by the special grace of God, when we hope to continue with Senior Citizens Forum. It's bye for now.
Okay.